Good morning, students. In last video, we understand what is a universal gravitational law. Newton's gave this law, according to which if two objects having the mass m1 and m2 are placed at a distance of d, then the force which is acting between the two objects is, we can find it by using the formula g m1 m2 upon d square, where m1 m2 is the mass of the object and d is the distance between them. So here g is a constant, which we say that it is a universal gravitational constant. This is called the universal gravitational constant because its value is constant in whole universe. And this value is, if we find this value by placing the two objects having the mass m1 and m2, and we place the object at a distance of 1 meter. So it is found that the force of attraction which is acting between the two objects is 6.67 10 to the power minus 11. So this is a force which is acting between the object, and this is equal to the g here. So the SI unit of the g is Newton meter square per kg square. So we have just studied about it in the last videos. Now we are talking about the free falls. Again, for any question, you should have a proper knowledge of the chapter. Either the assertion is a type of question or the paragraph based question. If you have the proper knowledge, then you can write, again you can explain any type of questions. Okay, what is about the free fall? Free fall means if something is free to falls on the earth without any other external forces other than the force of gravitation which is acting by the earth on this object, is called the free fall. So if we drop something from the particular height on the earth, it moves towards the center of the earth, and if we drop something, it means initially it has the initial velocity is 0 and it is moving in a downward direction. So its velocity going on increasing, is increasing time to time after a second. So it means if velocity changes, its velocity increases, so we can say it has some acceleration. So the body, if we drop from a height, it produces an acceleration, and this acceleration is represented by the acceleration due to gravity, which we represent by the symbol g. So free fall means if the object is free to fall under the gravity of earth, under the force of attraction due to the earth, is called the free fall. Now a freely falling body have some acceleration, which we represented by using the symbol g, and we call it like the acceleration due to gravity. Since the acceleration is produced due to gravity, so we call it like acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so g is the acceleration due to gravity. Now let's find the relation between the g and the capital G. There is a lot of difference between the small g and the capital G. Capital G represent the universal gravitational constant and small g represent the acceleration due to gravity. And the value of g is constant everywhere, like in all the universe. But the value of small g, that is acceleration due to gravity, changes everywhere. Even though on this earth the value of g changes, it is different at pole and different at equator. And the SI unit of the acceleration to gravity is meter per second square, since it is acceleration, and the SI unit of the universal gravitational constant is Newton meter square per kg square. So this g depends on the mass of the earth. If we are showing the acceleration to gravity due to the earth, then we can say that it depends on the mass of the earth. But this value do not depend on any of the values like the mass of the earth or the mass of the object or anything. So these are some differences which we can write in between the g and this capital G. So you can write the difference between universal gravitational constant and the acceleration to gravity. So I think it should be clear to you. And you can also write the value of the small g and the capital G here. The value of the small g is 9.8 meter per second square and the capital G is this one. So these are few differences between the g and the small g and the capital G. Now how can we find the value of a small g? Suppose this is the object. Okay, this is the object having the mass m1. and if we drop it from the height of let the height of this object from the center, let the radius of the earth is re. Suppose the radius of the earth is re and the mass of the earth is me. So according to the Newton universal law, we know that the force is acting in between the earth and this object. So due to this force, the object is moved towards the center of the earth. And for finding the force in between them, we have to find the distance between the object and the earth, the center of the earth. Since this distance of the object from the surface of the earth is really very less as compared to the radius of the earth, so we can take it like negligible. So let the distance between the object and the earth is re. So according to this formula, we can find that F, the force acting between the object and the earth is, it will be G m1 me upon re square. It should be very clear that m1 is the mass of the object, me is the mass of the earth, re is the radius of the earth. Since the distance between the object and the surface of the earth is negligible as compared to the radius of the earth, so we are taking the distance of the object from the earth as re. So according to Newton's second law, we know that F is equal to m into A. So the force is acting between the two objects. We can find the force by finding the product of the mass and the acceleration. So let the acceleration produced in the object is g. So we can say that F is equal to m into g. It is equal to g m1 me upon re square. So m1 will cancel out with m1. So we can say g is equal to g me upon re square. So it means the acceleration to gravity produced in the object do not depend on the mass of the object. The mass of the object, either the object is heavy or the lighter, the acceleration to gravity do not depends on these values. So there are many numericals for finding the value of g. So we are doing a numerical for finding the value of g on the earth. So for finding the value of g on the earth, we should know the value of g, capital G, which is a constant value. We can say it is a 6.67 10 to the minus 11. We should know the mass of the earth, and we know the value of the mass of the earth. Mass of the earth is, it is 6 into near about. This is not the exact value. This is near about 6 into 10 to the 24 kilogram. And the radius of the earth is 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meter. This is the radius of the earth. Now if you want to find the g, just put the value of these terms like g is 6.67 10 to the power minus 11 into mass of the earth is 6 into 10 to the power 24 upon the radius of the earth is 6.4 into 10 to the power 6. So and a whole square, sorry. For solving this type of question, what should we do? We should calculate the 10 powers along with each other, like these are the numbers and we are pairing these numbers. This is a number, this is a number, upon 6.4 into 6.4, and again pair the 10 to the power minus 10 into 10 to the power 24 upon 10 to the power 6 into 10 to the power 6. So we can solve it easily. Just solve this value and then solve the 10 to the power, and then we can calculate it. So after calculating, we find that the value of g is 9.8 meter per second square. So this is the acceleration to gravity on the earth. So this value is not constant everywhere on this earth. For our convenience, for numerical point of view, we take the value of g 9.8 meter per second in numericals. Okay, now these are some variation in the value of g. So I'm going to explain you how the g varies. So the topic is variation in g. So there can be assertion reason type of questions like which can be based on the g. Like the assertion is the value of g is constant everywhere on the earth. This is assertion, suppose. And the reason is the acceleration due to gravity depends on the mass of the earth and the radius of the earth. So these are the assertion and reason. And if you are clear about the chapter, if you are clear about the theory, so you are able to answer this question. Since the assertion was the value of the G is constant everywhere in the universe, everywhere on the earth. So this is not the truth, because we know that the G changes on the earth. The value of G on the pole is different and the equator is different. So assertion is false here. Now in the second part in reason, I told you that the acceleration to gravity depends on the mass of the earth and the radius of the earth. Yeah, this is true. It depends on the mass of the earth and the radius of the earth. So if you have the proper knowledge of chapter, you are able to answer any type of question, either the assertion reason or the paragraph based questions. Now the variation in the value of G. First one. The value of the G varies on the earth due to the shape of the earth. We know that the earth is not spherical in shape. It is just slightly oval in shape. So it means the radius of the pole is less. This is the radius of the pole and this is the radius of the earth. Equator. So the radius of the pole is less than the radius of the equator. According to this figure, you can see it easily. So we know that the G is inversely proportional to the 1 upon r square. Now, if r is greater, so the value of G should be less. It means that G on the equator should be less than the G on the pole. Since the acceleration of gravity is reciprocal, the square of the radius of the earth. So, by increasing the radius of the earth, we can decrease the value of G. So, it means the acceleration of gravity on the equator is less as compared to the pole. You know what will happen if the value of G is different on the equator and the pole? You know the formula for the weight. Weight is equal to mass multiplied with the acceleration of gravity. It means if G on the pole is greater than on the equator, it means our weight on the pole will be greater than the equator. Or if we drop something from the height on the pole, since the acceleration produced on the pole will be greater and the acceleration produced on the equator will be less. So if we drop something from the particular height at the pole and at the equator, then which have the greater acceleration of gravity, where the object will reach earlier. So it means the pole have the greater acceleration of gravity. It means at the pole the object will reach first on the ground as compared to the equator. So this is the variation in the value of G according to the shape of the earth. The second one is G depends on the height on the surface of the earth. You know the value of G on the surface of the earth is maximum. If we move in upward direction, the value of G decreases. The value of small g decreases, since we know that G is reciprocal to the radius of the earth. So by increasing the distance of the object from the earth, from the center of the earth, the value of G decreases. So it means if we move towards the upward side on the earth, the acceleration of gravity goes on decreases. Same as if we move down towards the center of the earth, the acceleration of gravity is also decreases. It means the acceleration of gravity has the maximum value at the surface of the earth. So the maximum value of the G is at the surface of the earth. So these are some variations in the value of G. So we saw that the variation is due to the size, this is the shape of the earth. We found out the variation due to the if we increase the distance of the object from the center of the earth, or if we decrease the distance of the object from the center of the earth. So these are about the G. And some few questions, more questions which we can do, which are based on the acceleration of gravity. Like this is the question. This is a numerical question. A car falls off a ledge and drops to the ground in 0.5 seconds. So if a car falls from the ledge, it falls, it means initially the car has the zero velocity, and drop to the ground in 0.5 seconds. So this is the time taken by the car to move to reach the ground. This is 0.5 seconds. Okay, first you have to find what is the speed on striking the ground. So you have to find what should be the speed of the car when it will reach the ground. So in this case, in the question it is given that the value of g is 10 meter per second square. So can we find the value of v here? Final velocity, what should be the final velocity of the car when it reaches the ground? So according to the Newton's first equation of motion, Newton's first equation of motion, it is v is equal to u plus gt. This is the first equation of motion. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you, that we have three equation of motion. V is equal to u plus at. Second one, s is equal to ut plus half at square. We have already learned it in the first chapter. And v square is equal to u square plus 2as. These are the 2as, These are the equation of motion. And in this chapter, we use this equation of motion, but in place of acceleration, we write down the acceleration to gravity. Because if we drop something, if we throw something in upward direction, then the acceleration produced depend on the earth, depend on the gravity. So in place of acceleration, we will write here the g, and in place of distance covered, we write it like the h. So this equation of motion changes as v is equal to u plus gt. Okay. Now the acceleration is acceleration due to gravity, and s is h is equal to ut plus half gt square. Okay. And the third one is v square is equal to u square plus 2gh. So these are the three equation of motion, verified equation of motion according to need, according to the chapter. If we throw something in upward direction, if we drop something from the height, then we use this equation of motion in place of this one. Now one more thing I want to tell you, that if we throw something in upward direction, the acceleration produced in the body is negative. So we can say g is negative. If we throw something in upward direction, the g is negative. If we drop something, then the g is always positive. So these terms you should always keep in your mind, and just you can do this question now. V is equal to u plus gt. So v is equal to u is how much, 0, plus g is how much, 10, into t is how much, 0.5. So it means it is 5 meter per second. So this is the final velocity of the car, or we can say the velocity of the car when it reaches the ground. Second part is what is the average speed during the 0.5 seconds. Again in the second part you have to find the average speed. For this, if you want to find the average speed, you can use the formula v plus u upon t. Initial plus final velocity divided by 2. Speed means velocity. So u is 0, v is how much, 5 upon 2. So 2.5 meter per second is the average speed, average velocity of the car. How high is the ledge from the ground? Now you have to find the distance of the ledge from the ground. It means you have to find the value of h. So which equation of motion we can use here? We can use this one or even this one. So I think we can use this equation of motion. So we can use either third or the second equation of motion. I am using it second equation of motion. H is equal to ut, u is 0 and t is 0.5 plus half into g is 10 into t is how much, 0.5 square. It is 0 plus 5 is a 10, 5 into 0.25. 25 5s are 125, 1.25 meter. So this is the distance of the ledge from the ground. Okay. So these are few questions based on the equation of motion. Okay. So in next video we will study about the difference between the mass and the weight. Okay. Bye.